Namaskar. Hello and welcome to P Guru's channel. I'm your host Sri Iyer. This is Daily Global Insights, episode 349, and we are coming to you on Channel 2 live. And I'd like to invite my co-host Sridhar Chityalaji. Sridharji, Namaskar and welcome to P Guru's channel, sir.
Namaskar and good morning to everybody, and looking forward to another week.
Sridharji, let us start with this new grouping of 13 member nations. Can you tell us a little bit about which nations formed this? And they have all of them have four objectives, and looks like India has not decided on all four. Only three it has said yes. A little bit of insight, sir.
Well, I think that this is called as the Indo-Pacific Economic Framework (IPEF). Facilitated by President Biden in response to some of the outreach that the China has done. The countries include the usual people, the ASEAN members, Korea, Australia, New Zealand. Then you have India, all part of this Indo-Pacific Economic Framework. The objective is fourfold. One is to develop an effective economic, trade, and security policy and better alignment of supply chains, and of course, the big agenda of Biden, which is clean energy or clean economy, as he calls it. India has toed the line, and India has agreed that you need Indo-Pacific Economic Framework, which is rules-based. But what they have said is that there are four pillars. One is around, most important one is around trade. It has stated that some of the objectives laid out in the trade, especially around labor, digital commerce, etc., it is not yet ready unless and until it sees the details. United States, recognizing the importance of India, has agreed that they can move forward and these issues can be resolved.
And now, what are the things that India is still keeping an option open? Like I think trade, something to do with the trade, sir?
Only trade, only one pillar. India has signed up to the other three. India has signed up to clean economy. India has signed up to the rules economy, or fair economy, as he calls it. And India has signed up to the three of them, supply chains, connecting the supply chains.
Thank you, sir. And global COVID situation seems to be easing. New Zealand has almost dispensed with almost all of its requirements. Even India, when we travel into India, we don't need to take RT-PCR tests before landing from US. I don't know about Singapore. So I think, can we say that now the signs of COVID diminishing are there?
Well, I think that it's quite amazing that it came out of nowhere. It seems to be dissipating out of nowhere. We recall that we had 2 doses of vaccine, all kinds of conditions, and etc., and then booster doses to be taken. Now, no longer booster doses are even being talked about. The other amazing truth is many of the nations, who lag behind, seem to have advanced very well in terms of containment of COVID, in terms of the index, the percentage index that you see. US and UK and some of the European nations are still lagging behind India. India has clearly advanced. It's in the top 30 or 40 nations in terms of the methodologies that they've adopted to tackling the COVID. And China has gone backwards. And as you all know, that China is suffering from several shutdowns and with epidemic widely spread. Is this a permanent problem? It looks like it's not a permanent problem. It's going to be a problem, whatever you may want to call it, live with us forever. It may become another kind of a virus.
So, Sridharji, the SCO is about to start in Uzbekistan, if I'm correct, 13th to 16th of September. And it is expected that Xi Jinping is going to travel to meet with Putin there. And there is another school of thought, and viewers, we will be airing that on channel 1 at 6 p.m., where they are saying Xi Jinping is not going to leave China, because that tells you that there's a coup imminent. And either that or he's afraid that he might be overthrown when he's traveling abroad. This is just one school of thought. I could be wrong, horribly wrong about that. So, Sridharji, do you really think he's going to go there?
Well, I belong to the school of thought that Xi Jinping will make his visit. Whether the coup happens or not, that's for the experts to opine. I think he's going to make his visit because it is, for me, as I see it, he has to present something to the world that he is unifying the world rather than he is dividing the world. And he has at least few allies, and the most important of them is another ally who is losing battle in his own home grade, which is Vladimir Putin. So they have struck a deal, and they will be showing brew, who, we are a new world order all joined. I think he would be going for that purpose. Given the way he has consolidated power, it'll be interesting to see whether any ouster that is likely to happen. I still bet that he is going to score summit.
Well, as predicted in one of my hangouts, or I should say monologues 2 days ago, I said that Kherson is a red herring and Ukraine was all along going to attack near Kharkiv. That has come true now. Many YouTube sites, many satellite pictures have confirmed what I have been saying. And those of you who are going to disagree with me and saying, Sri, this is not your cup of tea, F you. That's all I can say, because the whole world is now sure that Russia has lost this war and they are going to be in full retreat, as a matter of fact. And in fact, the question now being asked is the Russian Federation going to break up, especially places like Tuva? Siddharji, your thoughts?
Now, my thoughts are very simple, and I think I've also stood by right from day one, which is to say Russia has got itself into a battle to lose. Russia has had everything going. It could have formed a very effective strategic alignment with Europe, given the energy security that it provided, and there was an easier mechanism for it to dismantle NATO. And unfortunately, they choose the confrontational approach without recognizing whether there is groundswell support for him within his rank and file within the army. His army is not well paid. His army is not well tested. Now, of course, there are many Indian sympathizers and supporters who all believe that either we are CIA agents or we are kind of, bluffing our way. Well, they can be in the denial mode. For example, the Russian Defense Ministry has now come out and made a public statement that they are pulling out. And on the contrary to Sri Iyer, there is probably an imminent, more than Xi Jinping, there's an imminent threat facing Mr. Vladimir Putin, whether he could be taken out, because the economic affluence is around the corner for the Russians. That's all they care, because the energy provides the economic flow into the country if this confrontational approach is not pursued.
Yes, indeed, sir. And Iran says to IAEA not to yield to Israel pressure and that it will cooperate. Israel says Iran is not immune and will take appropriate action to respond. I'm trying to read between the lines here. Is Iran going to do is Israel going to do a 1979 on Iran again, sir?
Well, you are beginning to see, there's a thread here, in terms of the way we have, sequenced this news. Okay, you got Russia, you got China, which confronted every nation, got a problem. You got Russia, which was beginning to threaten around Europe, is in deep trouble. Iran, which has been wagging its tail rather than conceding, thinking that the Turks, the Chinese, and the Russians will all come to their rescue. And they're beginning, I think we have already reported that progressively the Israelis have been taking Hezbollah and their Iranian surrogates out in Syria. And so what they're saying, we will now cooperate with you, but please don't listen to Israel's rhetoric. That's the first concession that we have seen from the Iranians, to say that they're willing to cooperate, the word. Okay, now as far as Israel is concerned, they're very clear. Iran cannot be nuclear. We have already taken several of their options out. We know how to take them out. And you know that the US and Iran and Kuwait and Saudi Arabia conducted drills. We covered that in one of the sessions. So Iran has some problems in its hands.
And thank you very much, Sridharji. That wraps up our today's session. Do like, share, and subscribe to this channel. This is channel 2. And we're going to try and do this thing for about a week or so to try and test this channel, because we can leave the news for 24 hours. News always moves in 24-hour cycles. We feel that leaving it here so that you can come and consume this content is going to be good. So we'll wait and see. So the more comments you put in, the better it is for the channel. And also please refer to channel 2 to your family and friends, because we are trying to do some things different here, keeping the smaller conversations on channel 2. Thank you very much, Sridharji. Namaskar, and we'll see you again tomorrow, sir.
Namaskar. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day, everybody.